Before I begin to review this review of The Seventh Sign, I feel that I should warn my viewers of what is coming. This is a movie that has to do a lot with faith and religion. Usually, in the religious category, it mostly has to do with like Jewish religion as well as also Christian religion. So there is a bunch of like symbolism, Jesus Christ. They talk about the Lord Jesus, the Messiah, the prophecies from the Bible, and a bunch of other stuff like that. So if you are very religious, if you feel like that you're going to be insulted, I understand if you don't want to watch this review because this is going to be also hard for me because I was born a Christian. Um, I actually did go to church and Sunday school for a short time until I got kicked out of Sunday school for having a transformer. True story. Uh, but I'm just gonna let people know that it's kind of not gonna be that much of a funny review because there's not much joke that I can make with this movie. It's mostly just gonna be a downright review. But if you're gonna be easily insulted, if you are very religious, if you are of Christian or um, if you are of Jewish tradition or I guess religion, and if you do not want to watch this review video, that's fine. I'm just letting people know that this is not basically going to be a very happy review. This had nothing to do with happiness. This is going to be a very, um, just a kind of simple review because there's not too many jokes that I can make about this movie. If you see this movie, then you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't yet, go and watch this movie first, then come back to this review, and you'll know what I mean. It's a very bad type of horror movie. But with that out of the way, I'm just letting you guys know if you are very religious, if you're Christian, if you're Jewish, whatever may be. I understand if you don't want to watch this review, this video. You can wait until the one next week, which I for the one on Saturday, Friday, not Saturday, which I promise you will be a lot better. There'll be jokes made. It'll be a fun time. Just throwing that out there. But with this review, this is not going to be a funny review. This is not going to be a heartwarming review. This is not going to be a very sympathetic review. This is going to be me talking about a stupid, really bad horror movie that has to do with religion and Jesus Christ and everything. So with that being said, with that long introduction out of the way, so if you don't want to watch this video, feel free not to. But if you're brave enough and if you're willing, then please enjoy the Lazy Universe review for Lazyween of the Seventh Sign. So please enjoy, but for those of you that want to click off the video, this is your last warning because you've been warned. And onto the review already in process. Hello, gurus and goblins. I'm Lazy Universe and I'm waiting nudie. Happy Lazyween. I don't know how I can make this funny. I don't know how I can make this charming. I don't know how to make this review work. Because who thought it was a good idea to make a horror movie about the Messiah or the Son of God or Jesus Christ returning? But my bubble gentleman, something would seem was in the right mind of saying like, we've done horror movies about the son of Satan. I know, what about Jesus Christ? Good golly, Miss Molly, somebody actually thought that this was a good idea. How about we make the Son of God into a horror movie? Someone thought that was good. So, does the Lord has returned? Does Jesus Christ actually return to make his horrifying debut in the world and realm of horror movies? Or does it fall faster than everything else in the entire world at being one of the most stupidest and horrifying, stupidly stupid horror movie in the realm of horror? Let's find out. So I'm gonna give you guys the bad, the ugly, the bad, and the just downright fucking bad. No, seriously, this is one of the worst fucking movies I have ever seen. But it does have some redeeming qualities. Very limited redeeming qualities. But this movie, actually opens up, but I'm not actually going to show it. It opens up with Jurgen Prochnow, who I'll get to in a moment of what character that he plays, because it's very well pointed out in the movie later on, of course. But he arrives in Africa, which is supposed to be the birthplace of mankind. He arrives in Africa. He snaps a cookie in half. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a seal, but it looks more like a damn cookie.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
This is when then we're introduced to our main character, Demi Moore, who plays Mrs. Quinn, who is expecting a healthy baby boy, but unfortunately she lost her first child because, well, the movie does hint at this very much, but I can't show the scene where it really hits home. But there is an actual scene that has to deal with Demi Moore's character being a suicide, and in the scene, but I can't show you. She's sitting in the bathtub, pregnant. She's washing herself, and throughout the movie too, you can see that she has razor slits on her wrist. And no, I'm not saying that suicide is a good thing. I'm not saying that cutting your wrist is a good thing either. I'm just pointing it out because the movie has it very well endowed in it. But she must have been like a suicide attempt or something. Maybe that's how the first baby that she had died. We don't know specifically. But then while she's in the bathtub, she was about ready and she had a razor blade set and ready at the wrist. And she was going to cut her wrist, basically kill herself and kill the child probably at the same time. But instead of doing so, she throws the razor blade, we never see it again, she throws it across like the bathroom, and she sits there and she kind of hugs her own stomach while crying, my baby, and the realization that even though through hell that she gone through in this movie, which there's not much to say, she does go through a lot of hell in this movie, trying to prove of like everything that's going on around her is actually happening and that she's not losing her mind, because the movie is kind of playing itself like a psychological horror, but it doesn't do it quite well. I can think of a lot of other psychological horror movies and TV shows that have done this variety that they're pulling off very well. But I do have to say I love Demi Moore's character in this. It feels very, very well done. I think that she's very a sympathetic character. You know, she's a becoming mother. She wants to have her baby boy. She wants to have the best for her son. So she tried to do everything in her power to, keep the child. But then you have to remember in the back of your mind that, yeah, that's good and all, but she's still technically a suicide. So technically speaking, her son is her redemption. In order to find her redemption, she must borrow her son, which of course she happens to basically want to do. But there's some side effects. While yes, she is expecting her son to be born with no problems according to the doctor, she still wants a baby, so she even goes to an adoption clinic to see if she can adopt a precious baby. But of course, while that's happening, and that's mostly the major story, a lot of things about the apocalypse happen to come true. Everything seemingly is going to hell in a handbasket pretty quickly. There are about 1,000 um, movies about the apocalypse. 2012, the movie Apocalypse, I think it's called, or whatever, um, that Mel Gibson directed, which was a very good movie. Very long, but very good movie. So, yeah. But, it's kind of like the thing from the apocalypse. You know, the swarm comes, the river bathes in blood, the rivers boil, fish and people die all at will. Surprisingly, though, they don't have a spirit going around for people to paint blood on their doors in order to be saved. What? I'm a fan of Prince of Egypt. I feel like Prince of Egypt is less insulting than this film. I feel that Prince of Egypt doesn't even go even close to insulting this. Hell, even a joke made by Robin Williams back in 2000, I think it was, or 2003 or something, was not as insulting. I would show you the clip, but the DVD that I have, every time I get to the talking about Jesus Christ being born, it skips up. Why I would love I do have the Robin Williams joke in here just to have some people just giggle and laugh over the dark moment. No, I can't do that necessarily because my DVD is all scratched to hell. Yeah, it also is on YouTube for free. Yeah, this is what it's called. Robin Williams Live on Broadway. You can watch it on YouTube. Good? Great. So this is where we actually get to find out that the apocalypse is coming, and instead of turning to a Catholic priest or a Catholic minister, which I'll come back to in real quick, she doesn't go to a Catholic priest or a minister. No. She goes to a Jewish rabbi in order to get information about the Bible. Oh, how I wish I was joking, but no, I'm actually serious. Demi Moore goes to a rabbi's house, and talk with him and his wife about being seen, but he doesn't see her. She instead talks to Jewish Miss Jew over here. No, I'm sorry, I don't really know his name, truthfully, I don't really remember it, and this is where she gets her information from the young Jewish student. This is where both her and the student, again, can't remember his name, find out that yes, the apocalypse is coming, the apocalypse is happening, and, well, they both have something to do about it. So, remember when I was talking about the priest, Catholic people? Yeah. There is an evil priest that's the villain of this movie. No, I'll get to who he is eventually, but this movie has an evil priest. Go figure for the evil priest. So, you want to guess who Jurgen Prognell really is? You really want to know? Okay, he's Jesus' disciple, David. Yeah. He's Jesus' disciple, David. Now, at first, when I watched this movie, I thought he was the Archangel David. Or at least the Angel David. That would have made probably a little bit more sense of the angels coming because of the apocalypse. So they have to try to stop, the apocalypse from coming, 4 horsemen, blah, blah, blah. All that good stuff. What? I like Darksiders. But no, that's not actually what happens. Instead, she meets the disciple of David, and get this, because this is even more dumb. The evil priest in the movie happens to be, and I don't remember his name, I think it's Procostoles or something like that, I forget. The evil priest is Procostoles, that's just what I'm calling him, who is the Spartan soldier who stabbed Jesus Christ on the cross. I can't make this funny. I can't make this ridiculous. It already is ridiculous. You have an evil priest and the disciple of David. The disciple of Jesus, David. Great. That's wonderful. And also you have the Jewish student. And now I'm sorry when I said Jewy McJewish because I forget his name. I don't even think that he has a name, truthfully. He's just a Jewish student. I have a friend that is Jewish that is named Durgan, and he's a very nice guy and whatnot. So I don't mean to offend anybody in that regard. It's just I didn't have a name that I could have called him, so we'll just call him the student. So the student ends up deciphering a code that was written in like an old form of Jewish. I forget what Jewish people speak, truthfully. Their language. So I forget. If there is anybody from Jewish religion, please let me know, because I honestly forget what he said. But he deciphered it, and it is actually coming that, yes, the apocalypse is upon everybody. But get this, it's even more dumb. Demi Moore actually is a returning character from Jesus' past. Whether she is the Virgin Mary or somebody else related to Jesus, I don't know. The movie never says. I'm just assuming, possibly, that she is the Virgin Mary. Why? I don't know. Just maybe the metaphor too much is like, she's a pregnant woman and she is giving birth to the Messiah. Like, the second coming of Jesus. Yep. That's kind of not even the worst part. There is an actual great character in this named Jimmy, which is kind of funny because very similar to my favorite South Park character, Jimmy, he is, and dear God, I'm disabled, so any disabled people that is watching this, you can click off now, because I'm about to insult this, basically, this movie does, insult disabled people because of, Jim in the movie, Jimmy. Jimmy is a disabled intellectual who killed his parents. And Jim Bob, is on death row for killing his parents. Jimmy gets the death sentence because he's disabled and presumably like illiterate, I think, or something. So Jimmy believed that he's doing the will of God by killing his parents. Yes, Jimmy. Jimmy apparently killed his parents because they were brother or sister and that were married, and that's just gross, and Jimmy believed he was doing the will of God. Jimmy doesn't care if he lives or dies. Jimmy doesn't care whatever happened to him, because Jimmy knows he's getting the death sentence and that he had to die. Oh. And as a disabled individual myself, I felt kind of insulted when they were like, yes, disabled people can, get the death penalty when bad things like this happen, even though, that the court and the justice system on disabled people, depending on their crime, I believe, don't necessarily do the death sentence unless it's extremely necessary. Because, people have to believe that, have to remember that Texas, not to pick on any Texans or anything, but that Texas was a state that used to basically do something similar to this for the longest time. You don't believe me? I'm completely wrong? No. See, Texas and the justice system used to do this for a while back during the early 2000s. I remember hearing about it until it was eventually outlawed and disbanded. So Texas used to do this on almost an everyday basis. Cue Robin Williams.
People in Texas are going, shit, where's the fun now? Because they were zapping retarded people every other week. It was like, go sit on Santa's lap, Timmy. But then, this is pretty wide. I mean, they're out there, baby. Before the lethal injection, they do an alcohol swab, which is so nice.
So, after all is said and done, Demi Moore has her bouncing baby boy, but unfortunately to have it, she had to sacrifice herself so the baby can live. At Jurgen Prognau, David says that the world will now be at peace, because the Lord has returned. The apocalypse is no more. As he also tells the Jewish student to write about the adventures. The seventh sign can go to the seventh layer of hell and burn there, for God's sake. This is one of the worst horror movies that has ever been created. I wasn't terrified at least once, except for Demi Moore and the baby. Why? Because I'm not a monster to see a baby die either in real life, video games, or movies or TV shows. I am not that type of a monster. While, yes, I can agree that the apocalypse can sometimes be a terrifying thing, if done well. Frickin' Mel Gibson is laughing his ass off at this movie going, ha! I did it better years later, jackasses! Demi Moore and Jurgen Prognau are probably only the best things about this movie. They both excel in their performances, especially Jurgen Prognau, who's really doing his best job, and Demi Moore, as a suicide and also as an expecting mother, was great in the role. The other characters are forgettable, except for Jimmy, who is the disabled one who ends up dying. But he's supposed to die because the apocalypse and prophecies say so, apparently. The Seventh Nine is badly directed, badly written, and aside from having some great cast members, it sucks even still to this day. And people talk about The Omen being bad. Well, at least with like The Omen or Rosemary Baby or other movies that have to deal with demonic children, at least they're better. I've heard that the 1976 Omen was a lot better than the one that I reviewed on the channel a long time ago from 2006, which I wanted to bet on the 666 thing. The Seventh Sign kinda had no reason to exist. If you want to see a better horror movie about the apocalypse, check out Mel Gibson's tale on the same thing. I'm pretty sure it is called Apocalypse. An even better horror movie, if you want to call it a horror movie, is The Prince of Egypt, which did this thing 1,000 times better. And even at some moment during The Prince of Egypt, it was pretty damn horrifying. So, this movie is the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the worst types of movies. In fact, no, I'm not even going to qualify myself and sink to the lower depths of hell and say that this movie deserves a vinyl pop rating because, dear Jesus God, no matter which ones that I like or dislike in my own damn collection, I am not giving it the benefit of the doubt to get a fucking Funko Pop rating. It fucking sucks, and it fucking blows. If you want to see better horror movies about the apocalypse or demonic children, I mentioned a few. The Omen, the original, Rosemary's Baby, which I haven't seen, and several countless others. So, the Seventh Sign can go fuck itself right into hell. But that is not the worst part of it. And I'm fucking thank God that this is all fucking done and over with. Thank fucking Jesus Christ. He said while we're waiting a lightning bolt to come out of nowhere and hit him. Oh, I need to cleanse myself of this badly awful movie. I think we're gonna have some fun on Friday. We're gonna go to Zombieland, USA on Friday. I don't even want to touch another bad movie for a while. Fuck you, Seventh Sign. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me at Twitter with the link in the description down below. And let me know, have you seen The Seventh Sign, and do you agree with my criticism that it's one of the worst movies that I've ever seen, or one of the best? You decide. But yes, there's better movies about the apocalypse, there's better movies about killer children out there. They're just not one of them. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I've been waiting to the boy nerdy. Keep eating on. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll me at Twitter with the link in the description down below. And as always, guys, take care. Happy Lazyween. And stay spooky and stay tuned because we're going to go to a better movie or movies. And I'll be taking a look at the Zombieland movies. That'd be Zombieland and Zombieland Double Tap. So thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, stay spooky and fuck you, Seventh Sign.